Happy Monday, my friends, and welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World. And a very happy Monday from everybody here at Prime Sports World. I'm, of course, your host, David On Point Huffman. Right there is my co-host, Mr. TJ Hopkins. On today's episode of the Prime, we're going to wake down week number 9 so far. Also going to talk about Dennis Allen a little bit as he got fired as the head coach of the New Orleans Saints when we get to that game. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast if you like what we're doing here at Prime Sports World. Happy Monday, TJ. How are you, buddy? TJ, are you there? TJ? I guess TJ's not there. All right, well, hopefully he jumps into the show a little bit later. Thank you very much for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Let's talk about week number 9. Let's first start with Thursday night football. And we got the Houston Texans going into MetLife Stadium and falling to the New York Jets as they kind of saved their season in a lot of ways. What's up, TJ?
What's up, David?
The Jets pull out the victory 21-13. The Jets scored 14 points in the final frame to kind of finally make this out of reach, including 2 Garrett Wilson single-handed touchdowns and a Devontae Adams score as he scored as a first time as a New York Jet. CJ Stroud, another tough day at the office. He's had a really up and down second year in the NFL. He's had games where he's looked the part, but there's been a couple games here on this schedule so far this season where he has looked rough. They're still 6-3. They're still in the driver's seat of the AFC South because that division's just kind of trash. But CJ Stroud, 11-30, 191 yards, no touchdowns. He did have one fumble that he lost. Joe Mixon continues to be everything Houston thought they were going to get and more. 24 carries for 106 yards and a touchdown. Tank Dell goes over the century mark. I think it's for the first time in his career that he's gone over 100 yards receiving in a game. 6 for 126. Aaron Rodgers, 22 of 32, very efficient, 211 yards and 3 touchdowns. Breece Hall, 15-74. And then Garrett Wilson had 2 ridiculous touchdowns in this game. And Devontae Adams had 90 yards receiving and a touchdown as well. And Malachi Corley, make sure you get into the end zone before you celebrate, young man.
Yeah, I still can't believe that still
happens. Yeah, I cannot.
Said.
Like, are you so excited to score early that you can't even bother to it makes zero. Like, how does that still happen? It's like, haven't you seen enough people get embarrassed on plays like that where it's still a thing? It still happens all the time. Like, it baffles me. And TJ, I don't get baffled all that often.
No, apparently not. But it's again with the Jets, like the question being asked: did the Jets save their season? No, like still.
I mean, in a lot of ways, yeah. I mean, if they lose this game, it's for sure over. I mean, it'd be 3-7 going into they still have Buffalo again. Like their season's still on life support. Like, it's not in a good shape, but if they had lost this game,
right? That's what I'm getting at. Though, like, you're still a lot still has to go your way, right? Like, all right, so like, let's say you play whoever you play next week, you lose that one. You're 3-7.
Well, I mean, you can make the argument if they lose one more game this season, that'll be curtains.
But like, let's really look at it. You lose your next game, you're 3-7. Do you really have that much faith in yourself to rattle off 7 in a row to get to 10-7, or to win? Yeah, to go or to win however many games you need to finish 9-8 in a row.
Because right now, let's just tell you hypothetically speaking, right? So they're 3-6. The division's over. Like, they're not catching Buffalo. And then they have to figure out how they're going to be one of the other 3 wildcard teams. And we're talking about Baltimore, who's 6-3. We've got the Los Angeles Chargers, who are 5-3. Denver Broncos are 5-4. I mean, those 3 teams right there. Can they catch a Chargers or a Denver? Yeah, I think they could. But it's going to be an uphill climb for the rest of the way. They basically have to play perfect football for the rest of the remainder, all the way through the end of the season, if they want to salvage this year.
We kind of saw that we've seen that. Hey, they kind of can't. Like, that first half against the Texans is kind of proof that they can't play because every team that they're facing from this point on, most of them they're not beat up like Houston's beat up.
Yeah, Houston's real beat up. Like probably
Houston,
has a lot to do with the fact that they just haven't played that well the last couple weeks.
like you
Like,
can't say
they beat the Colts, but I mean, I think we've seen that the Colts are just not a good football team.
all right, and you can't sit here and tell me that if CJ Stroud has at least Nico Collins that they don't win that game
Probably, yeah.
against the Jets. So like then you take away Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs, and it's like okay, like Tank Dell is nice, but Tank Dell in college as a number one that's cool because that's college. Tank Dell in the NFL as a number one, that can only get you so far. And it's no disrespect to Tank Dell, but that's just the truth. That's just what it is. And for this Jets team to like again, like they're still having disciplinary issues. Like again, like we talked about Malachi Corley dropping the ball before you cross the end. Then on top of that, I mean, don't get me wrong, like everybody thought it was a touchdown until they reviewed it, and then you notice it rolls out the back of the end zone for a touchback, and that's hindsight 2020. Right, like, oh, you should have. Everybody's like, oh, why didn't anybody fall on the ball? Because everybody thought it was a touchdown.
Touchdown.
Yeah. Like that's why nobody fell on the ball.
Yeah. But yeah, tough break. I mean, we'll see with these teams moving forward. Houston kind of feels like they're in a bit of a rut right now. Kind of have to right the
ship. And CJ Stroud, hey, bro, like it's a sophomore slump. It happens.
It's like you talk about all the time. Like now they got tape on you. Like we've seen you once already, and like we've seen this game already. Like we know what you're capable of. Like that's why he's struggled a little bit this season. There's more tape. There's more defenses preparing for CJ Stroud as opposed to when he was a rookie.
Exactly.
From Thursday, let's talk about Sunday night or Sunday afternoon football. I don't know what I'm doing. The Atlanta Falcons basically probably put the death nail on the Dallas Cowboys season as they beat Dallas 27-21. They didn't just beat Dallas. They knocked Dak Prescott out of the game with a hamstring injury. He's expected to miss a few weeks, if not the rest of the remainder of the regular season.
They knock CD out of with a shoulder.
That's supposed to be relatively minor, at least that's what the reporting kind of says. But Dak Prescott, 18-24, 133 yards and a touchdown. Cooper Rush, 13 for 25, 115 yards and a touchdown. I guess remember that a couple years ago where Cooper Rush came in for Dak Prescott, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, Cooper Rush!" I guess we're going to find out now. Rico Dowell, 12 of 75.
Go ahead.
Jake Ferguson, 7 for 71. CeeDee Lamb, 8 for 47. As we mentioned, did get banged up and knocked out of this game. Jalen Tolbert and Rico Dowell also had receiving touchdowns, both of them kind of in garbage time as this game was out of hand early. Kirk Cousins, another efficient day at the office. A lot of quarterbacks being efficient days at the office so far this season. 19-24, 222 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tyler Algier had a touchdown. Darnell Mooney, the former Chicago Bear, had a touchdown. So did Ray McLeod and Drake London. Also, that touchdown celebration with the head flip, just stop. People are going to get hurt doing that.
Well, we already know NFL players
Drake London already got hurt doing it, so just stop it. It's not worth it.
NFL players are, not technically human, so like
I know. The one that like not only the catch that well, I guess we'll get to it. We get to St. Brown's touchdown, but like the catch and like the FDR from Jared Goff and the head, like it's just. Anyways, continue.
The Cooper Rush thing about him being like, we're going to see it now. Like, no, we have seen it. Like, if somebody thought Cooper Rush was a certifiable NFL starter, he'd be starting somewhere and not Dallas's backup for the last God knows how many years.
Let me bring in Christian real quick. Welcome to the Daily Blitz blog, Mr. Christian Simpson. Welcome into the show, my friend. How's it going?
No, thank you. And the Rico Dowell touchdown, that wasn't in garbage time. That was still relatively early while it was still a game. It was pretty nice. Dak evading pressure. He throws a ball. It gets tipped. Rico Dowell bobbles it, falls on the ground, and catches it. Makes it a touchdown. That was nice. But like we saw Dallas, Dan Orlovsky said it this morning on not Get Up, but Unsportsmanlike. There we go. Dallas, you're not buyers, you're not championship contenders. You need to sell everything right now. Get what you can for who you can, and just start over. Like that's this iteration of the Cowboys has run its course, and it sucks because you've put money into this, and you just can't get past your own hangups, whether it's getting your ass kicked by Green Bay or whatever, or like you eventually run into a team that they just don't beat you. They embarrass you to the point where that's all people talk about till the next season. Like they somehow managed to drag one playoff ass whooping 4 months until the season starts, and then it's the same talking points all over again. Like the last few years, it was San Francisco. Then last year it was Green Bay, and now it's
Detroit. Or whoever. I mean, they've gotten blown out of a bunch of games this season. Like, yes, this probably should be a team that's going into a fire sale. On the other side of this, I mean, Atlanta continues to cook, continue to cruise. They just continue winning football games. Like, kudos to Atlanta Falcons. Christian.
yeah, good.
Yeah, Atlanta, they're playing well, and it's not just one guy on offense. Like they play good collective football as a unit. You know, if you're open, you're getting the ball, and they really just needed Arthur Smith to be gone because he was really holding them back. Listen,
I mean, when you have competent quarterback play, I mean, the quarterback play for the Atlanta Falcons the last couple of seasons may have been the worst in the league.
yeah, and then on top of it, look. Kirk Cousins isn't a bad quarterback. I think he just gets a bad rap.
He gets a horrible rap. Like,
yeah, because look, I can sit here and I can tell you, if he doesn't get hurt last year, I could see Minnesota still making the playoffs.
I think he would have won the MVP if he hadn't got hurt last year.
Yeah, I ain't going that far.
I think he would have legit would have won the, or at least was it 2 years? Like, yeah, I think he would have won the MVP. His numbers were all real before he got hurt.
Because here's the thing, the guy we just Dak Prescott put up unreal numbers last year, and he finished second. So unreal numbers only get you so far.
Yeah, and then I just remember a couple years ago, somebody telling me, you know, who's a Vikings fan, they hate Kirk Cousins and this and that. He always gives up games, and this is where I kind of had to be devil's advocate, and I had to say, oh, I didn't know Kirk played defense.
Moving on from there, let's talk about the AFC. We got the Miami Dolphins going into Orchard Park and getting beat by Tyler Bass. 61-yard field goal, longest field goal ever kicked at Orchard Park. Tyler Bass, a little bit of redemption for him too. I know this is just a regular season game, but that had to feel good to get that through the upright as they were thinking about replacing him. You know, he missed an extra point earlier in the game that allowed Miami to tie this game up in the first place. Buffalo, Tyler Bass gets the game-winning field goal. Kudos to you, my friend. Tua Tagovailoa was really efficient and good in this game, just not as good as Josh Allen. 25-28, 231 yards and a touchdown. Devon Achane also had a rushing touchdown. He also had a receiving touchdown, and Jalen Waddle had the game-tying touchdown pass in this game. On the other side, Josh Allen, 25 of 39, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. James Cook, 10 for 44. Ray Davis, Mac Hollins, and Quentin Morris caught the receiving touchdown. And the fact that Josh Allen was even able to throw that touchdown pass to Quentin Morris is just crazy. Like, he's getting killed on that play, and he still throws a touchdown. So,
Josh Allen now has what, 2 interceptions?
One.
2. He threw
one yesterday.
Too. Yeah, and he threw one against Seattle too.
So he now has 2 interceptions in 9 games. Again, this is a guy who led the league in interceptions.
You know what else was crazy? Like, Josh Allen was voted, like, I guess there was like some sort of poll. And
most
Josh
overrated.
Allen, it was voted like the most overrated player in the NFL. Like,
I
took that Josh Allen and be like, that guy's overrated. Like,
I took that personal. It became personal.
Yeah, he's taking it personal. And look, I'm gonna be petty here. Ever since Jalen Ramsey said Josh Allen sucks, Josh has been in his ass. Like seriously, Josh has beat him every single time.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, has he beaten him since he said that?
No, he hasn't. But look, I said it to someone yesterday, and I'll say it here on the show. Josh Allen, right now, I said it on Monday, even the quarterback as well. Oh, that episode is up, by the way, which is why I was late to the show. Josh Allen, right now, to me, is the front runner for MVP. He's taking such great care of the ball. This is the best I've seen him look since 2020. I think he's even more efficient this year than what he was that year. Because if Aaron Rodgers didn't do what he did in Green Bay, I think Josh is your MVP. But right now, if the season were to end, Josh would have my vote.
Yeah.
And I think on the Miami side, it's nice to see this team continue to fight. It's nice to see Tua Tagovailoa continue to play well, but they're just not as good as Buffalo. Period.
No, they're not, and it's again like what we kind of talked about it with Buffalo. Like, if you want to be the new "quote unquote" superpower of the AFC East, if you want to do what New England had for 20 plus years, you can't just win a division 2 or 3 times and then somebody else. Like, no. When Tom Brady was at the peak of his powers in New England, hey, we could pencil New England in for at least 12 wins, winning the division,
and getting the top 2 seed in the AFC.
And you're getting at least, we know at New England at least is going to be in the division round because they were just too damn good for the wild card. So
I also hope that Keon Coleman going under some test for his wrist injury. Hopefully that's not.
And not to mention what was said about Josh Allen at the start of this season, like, oh, they blamed him for running Stephon Diggs out of town, and they thought Buffalo was going to struggle offensively, and Keon Coleman, who's having a nice rookie year, and Josh Allen's just like, oh, y'all really think that little of me? Like, y'all think I need Stephon Diggs now? All right. Yeah, I have 2 interceptions in 9 games.
Yep. Staying in the AFC to the first of the weekend blowouts as the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe freaking Burrow hang up 41 on the Las Vegas Raiders, and they win 41-24. Joe Burrow threw 5 touchdown passes in this game. TJ's guy Chase Brown also went over the century mark on the ground. Mike Gesicki, who was one of my favorite players when he was in Miami, he has 2 touchdowns through the air. Chase Brown also had a receiving touchdown. So did Drew Sample. So did Andrea Yoshivash, which is probably one of the most fun names to say in the NFL. On the other side, I don't really need to talk about a whole lot going on with the Raiders. Except for Brock Bowers caught a garbage time touchdown as he continues to have a fantastic rookie season for the Raiders.
No, I got something to say about the Raiders. Again, like, y'all want to laugh at the bit. Like, Raiders fans, this one Raiders fan that Kristen keeps talking about, loves laughing at the Bears. Like, I do. Your quarterback got benched in this game. Got benched. You somehow think you're going to get Cam Ward and some other guy coming out of college, and that's just magically going to make shit better. It doesn't. Like, it really doesn't. You say the Bears suck, yet the last time we played y'all, our backup hung 30 on your head. Like, you can't use the excuse of our backup was playing. So was our backup. They hung 30 on your head. Y'all are at least a decade, 5 years at least, five to a decade behind the Bears in terms of putting out a certifiable product. And that's real. Like, you may say you're not, but you really, really are.
I mean, I think on the other side of this, I think this is the frustrating thing about Cincinnati. Like, sometimes they just look so good, and other times they're just head-scratchingly frustrating to watch. Like, the offense doesn't seem to click all the time, and then, like, you have outputs like this where you see the talent. Like, it's evident that this is a talented football team. They just don't seem to put it all together every week.
Yeah, I'll say this. Sorry, CJ.
No, go ahead.
Look, I'll say this too. If the Bengals had a winning record or they were in first place in their division, Joe Burrow would be the front runner right now for MVP because he's looked pretty good this year. And I mean, you know how I feel about the Las Vegas Raiders.
He's got 20 touchdowns to 4 picks.
Yeah, and you know how I feel about the Raiders. We ain't going there tonight.
But that's also why Stephen A says what he says about Zach Taylor. It's like, dude, what are you doing over the summer and preseason that going leading into the season that y'all get off to these slow ass starts? Then Joe Burrow got to go into the phone booth and put on the cape to save your ass. Like, no, like there's no reason why y'all shouldn't come out the gate swinging it shouldn't take heroic efforts by fucking October, November to be like, oh, look out for the Bengals. No, y'all should be like this in August, in September.
Listen, I'll say this: these next 3 games are going to tell us who the Cincinnati Bengals really are. They play Baltimore on Thursday night.
Rematch.
Go to LA to play the Chargers, and then they got a home game with the Steelers. Those 3 games could make or break them.
Moving on from there, we're going to stay with the AFC West versus the AFC North. This time, the AFC West gets the edge as the Chargers beat the Cleveland Browns 27-10 as Jameis Winston throws 3 interceptions in this game. Justin Herbert, again, efficient in this game, 18-27, 282 yards and 2 touchdowns. J.K. Dobbins had 2 touchdowns on the ground. Quentin Johnson quietly having a really nice second season. After a lot of people wrote him off after what was a pretty rough rookie season, he's really bounced back strong in his second year. Joshua Palmer got the other receiving touchdown for the Los Angeles Chargers. And then Cedric Tillman caught a super garbage time touchdown as Cleveland did not score a touchdown until the fourth quarter, and they only had a field goal for the first 3 frames of this game.
It's almost like rookies are supposed to struggle because they're rookies. Kevin Stefanski, bro, you might as well get ready to get somebody OC job in Chicago.
This guy.
That dead ass.
I think that's. I think if Cleveland fired Kevin Stefanski, he would have
a job tomorrow.
He would have a job this offseason, like a head coaching job. Like there's going to be a bunch of jobs open this offseason, and we already see one, and Dennis Allen getting fired. I mean, if we were talking about, we'll talk about it in the offseason, but yeah, I think he'll have a new. I think if they fire him, he'll have a new job.
Like tomorrow. And it sucks. Like because of decisions that were made that were above his pay grade.
I don't even think he was even there yet when that. Oh yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Never mind.
Because of decisions that were made that were above his pay grade. The Chargers, hey, nice win. Good to see. Good to see Herbert still doing. Justin Herbert, is going to put himself in the MVP conversation one of these years. He really soon. Like, I just think it's really unfortunate that because as good as he is, there's just those that are just that much better than him. Like, bro, like imagine, like if you used to look up, his what was his name? Like Mark Bolger. If you were to look up Mark Bolger's numbers, like Mark Bolger was a solid QB. It just sucked that at the same time Mark Bolger was in the league, so was Tom Brady, so was Peyton Manning, so was Carson Palmer, so was Big Ben. Like there were just guys that were just better than him.
Yeah, but yeah, I think this is kind of what Cleveland is now. They're going to probably trade off some of their pieces. We'll see what happens. I don't feel like we need to say anything else about this game. Moving on to the overtime victory for the Tennessee Titans as they snap what was I think a 5-game losing streak for the Tennessee Titans as they beat the New England Patriots in overtime 20-17. But that final touchdown that Drake May played through.
Very impressive.
Very impressive, his ability to stay alive and keep himself available in that play. Also a great catch by Ramondre Stevenson. But Mason Rudolph got the start on the other side. He threw 2 touchdowns. He threw a pick. Tony Pollard went over the century mark. Westbrook Akine had a receiving touchdown. So did Nick Vannett. On the other side, Hunter Henry had 56 yards receiving, along with Ramondre Stevenson having the lone receiving and rushing touchdown as New England just comes up short in this game.
Look, one thing I have to say, New England plays hard. I know the record isn't what they want it to be, but they play tough. I mean, yeah, this is a tough way to lose a game. Good win for the Titans. This game was actually so bad that it was good.
It's true.
I mean,
It's true. I mean, there were like a billion turnovers between these two teams.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The real
And one thing I wanted, my cousin is actually an agent, and one of his clients actually plays for the Titans. He was signed to the team. Look out for the name Bryce Oliver, number 80. He's a wide receiver.
nice.
I'll show you guys the pictures, but yeah, huge shout out. I just wanted to make sure I gave Bryce a shout out because yeah, I know he's been working his butt off to get to this point and play.
Hey,
But
living the dream.
yeah, exactly.
The real MVP of that game tying touchdown catch is Hunter Henry, because Hunter Henry runs out of bounds and Drake May is about to throw him the ball. And Drake and Hunter Henry like signals like, "Hey, don't. If I catch this ball, like it's game over." Like no, he has some like he made some signal to be like, "Hey, I'm ineligible. I can't touch the ball." And
It was a hell of a catch by Ramondre Stevenson. Like for real, like everything about that play was just wild. Like
so, like the real MVP of that play is Hunter Henry because he gives Drake May the signal like, "Hey, yo, bro, don't throw me the ball. I can't touch the ball."
And yeah, good win for the Tennessee Titans. Yeah. Moving on from there, we're going to swing back into the NFC, and we got the Washington Commanders continuing to roll as they beat the New York Football Giants 27-22. Really, really entertaining football game for sure. Jaden Daniels, 15-22, 209 yards and 2 touchdowns. Austin Eckler had the lone rushing touchdown, and Terry Scary Cloran had 2 catches for 2 touchdowns. That is efficient, my friends. On the other side, Daniel Jones, he was efficient in this game too. 20-26, 174 yards and 2 touchdowns. He did have a fumble in this game. Tyron Tracy continues to be a nice story, but Daniel Jones had a rushing touchdown. Theo Johnson, first career touchdown, I think, for Theo Johnson. And then Chris Manhertz caught the other receiving touchdown for the New York Giants as they fall to the Commanders in New York or New Jersey.
Yeah, the Commanders look really good, and they've only turned the ball over 3 times this year. So that just goes to show you how well they take care of the ball. But most importantly, they're not putting everything on Jaden Daniels' shoulders. They're doing it defensively, and they were still able to squeak this win out without Brian Robinson Jr. I know he was out with that hamstring injury. The Giants didn't go away, but in the end, it proved to be.
You ain't got enough.
Man, the Commanders might be the most surprising team in the NFL this season. I literally had never, not in a million years, that I think they'd be even remotely good.
Dan Quinn, Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, for real. I mean, the fact that this team is 7-2 and in the driver's seat of the NFC East is nothing short of a miracle.
I think the one thing that is not being talked about with Washington, not Jaden Daniels' preparation like in the NFL, but his preparation in college. People forget Jaden Daniels he's coming into the league with 55 collegiate starts. That does not happen. He started 55 games in college. So everybody talks about the developmental process, the non-developmental process for young NFL quarterbacks, and why are these young quarterbacks struggling? Why is Anthony Richardson struggling? Like, he combined with the NFL, he's only started 13 games. Like that's like, so you got Jaden Daniels, 55 starts in college. Caleb Williams, over 30. Bo Nix had like 40-some college starts. Like, and you wonder, and y'all are surprised they having success?
Yeah.
Like, are you seriously like this? Yeah, 55 starts before he played in the NFL. That's 12 to 15,000 more pass attempts, reps, whatever you want to call it, for Jaden Daniels.
But yeah, moving on from that game, we're going to swing into the NFC South. We got the Carolina Panthers squeaking out the 1-point victory over the New Orleans Saints, 23-22. Just want to say thoughts out to Chris Olave. I know he was released from the hospital yesterday. Seems to be doing well. Was walking around and moving, so going to be okay. But that situation was pretty scary when I saw it live.
Dicey.
So you never really know. It didn't look like the most vicious hit I've ever seen, but it just like you hit the awkwardly in the head, and like you never really know. Chuba Hubbard continues to be like just one of these fantastic stories in the league. I mean, he was a good running back last year, but he's been even better this season. As Izzy likes to talk about, free Chuba. 50 for 72 and 2 touchdowns. Bryce Young got the start, looked better than he has most of his NFL career so far, with a touchdown and a pick. Xavier Legette, his first season, he's been a really like fantastic as a rookie. I mean, I think this is 4 touchdowns for him in 9 weeks. Pretty good production there. Derek Carr, 18 of 31, 236, a touchdown. Alvin Kamara, 155 yards rushing in this game. He also led the team with receiving yards with 60. Also, Foster Moreau had a crazy touchdown in this game. But also Dennis Allen, writing was on the wall. I think we could have seen this coming from a mile away. It was only a matter of time before Dennis Allen was shown the door. I think they should have done it before the season started for sure.
Yeah. But again, I said this when it happened with Robert Saleh, and I'm going to apply the same thing. I'm not really a fan of in-season coaching changes because I just feel it creates an unwarranted distraction. We knew he was going to get fired, but just kind of let this ride out. But I honestly think that loss to Carolina kind of is what did him in.
100%.
Yeah. And like I said about the Patriots and Titans, this game was so bad that it was good. Like, I mean, Carolina, this is the final game that they're going to win this year. I don't see them winning anything else. Yeah, I really don't. They're that bad. They're that putrid.
But shout out to Bryce Young. Stay ready.
Yeah.
Always stay ready. I'm kind of with Christian on the Dennis Allen front on this end. That man was in a meeting with the other coaches getting ready for the next game when he found out he was getting fired.
I mean, the Saints have made decisions that are not really Dennis Allen's fault. Like he inherited a cap-strung team that couldn't really improve the roster, and they were basically like, "Hey, we need you to turn chicken salad from chicken shit," and he was unable to do that. I would have fired him before the season started. I just don't think he's that good a coach.
My analogy is the boat, right? Like, hey, we're giving you a sinking ship. And you got to keep us from sinking. You got to simultaneously stop the ship from sinking and get us back to shore. So what are we asking Dennis Allen to really do? And Derek Carr, you handled that Michael Thomas situation better than I would have. Because I'm petty. I know Christian petty. You handled it
when I want to be.
Huh?
When I want to be,
which is all the time.
I want to be,
which is all the time. And you handled that situation better than I would have. I don't think nothing more needs to be said about this game.
Yeah. Moving on, we're going to swing back into the AFC. This will be a short breakdown for sure, as the Baltimore Ravens just beat the ever-loving crap out of the Denver Broncos in this game, 41-10. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry combined for 5 touchdowns in this game. As Derrick Henry goes over the 100-yard mark in the rushing game for 100th time in his career. Lamar Jackson has the 4th perfect passer rating in his career, giving him the most perfect passer ratings, I think, in history of the NFL. So way to go, young fella, for a guy who's just a running quarterback, right, DJ? And Zay Flowers may have had his best game as a pro, 5 for 127 and 2 touchdowns. Cortland Sutton caught the throw through the lone receiving touchdown for Denver to his quarterback, Bo Nix.
It was nice.
It was nice. It was nice, and it was literally the only highlight they had the entire game.
This was the best I've seen the Ravens look since the game against Buffalo in Week 4 on that Sunday night. When they play how they played yesterday, there's not a team that can beat them. They're going to be a very tough out. Derrick Henry, you feed him the ball. He touches the ball at least 20 times. You're guaranteed a victory. Anything.
This Denver Broncos defense came in like in the top 5 when it comes to points allowed and yards allowed. They just got beat into a powder.
And Baltimore said, "Hey, bro, it's really levels.
Here, right?
It's levels to this hill." Hey, y'all remember that one chick who said, "I want my quarterbacks to be quarterbacky," and we ain't heard shit from her since. So, career games with as many or more passing touchdowns as incompletions. You know how many games Lamar Jackson has like that? 6.
Wow.
You know who he's tied with?
Jared Goff.
No. These two guys are in the Hall of Fame.
Joe Montana.
Peyton Manning. Well, Drew Brees will get it because I don't think he's eligible yet.
Next year.
So, like, if he has another game like that this season, he passes 2 of the greatest ever. Like, let me read that. Career games with as many or more passing touchdowns as incompletions, with a minimum of 15 attempts. He has 6. And the only reason Lamar Jackson's not in the MVP conversation or won't win it, 1, voter fatigue, 2, Derrick Henry's on his team. They're going to steal votes from each other, which I think is stupid.
I think Derrick Henry's been the MVP of the league. Like, he's been the most important. Like, outside of the Josh Allen stuff, I think Derrick Henry, I think, has been the most important player in the NFL.
I agree.
He balances the Baltimore Ravens, and that gives them an element they haven't had the last few seasons. From there, I think this is when we're in the late afternoon window. Philadelphia Eagles tried to give this game away to Jacksonville. They just wouldn't take it from them, as they were all big in this game. And then Jacksonville kind of made things interesting towards the end there, and had an opportunity to, if Trevor Lawrence doesn't throw that terrible interception, I mean, you get an argument. If you throw a touchdown, you win this game. 28-23. Eagles, and Trevor Lawrence, 16 of 31, 169 yards, 2 picks, including the back-breaking game-sealing pick. He also had 2 rushing touchdowns. Evan Ingram, 5 for 45. The other thing is, like, man, these wide receivers for Jacksonville just have a plethora of drops. Like, it's just unreal, like, watching them play. Jalen Hurts.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
18 of 24, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley, 27 for 159 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Hurts also had a rushing touchdown. Devontae Smith had a crazy touchdown catch in this game in the corner of the end zone. And Saquon Barkley also had a rushing touchdown in this game. Welcome in, Izzy, to the show. What's up, brother?
Going on? Yeah, no, man. That Devontae Smith catch was amazing. That was that one-hander in the corner.
It was an FDR.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, Trey, TJ, we still got to figure out what the hell that means.
What do you mean? FDR is Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He's on the dime.
Oh my God! Oh my God, David! I feel slow. You make me feel slow. My bad. Anyway, that's fucking awesome. Who taught you that? Where'd you learn that from?
I got this from this YouTuber I watch on a regular basis.
Oh my God, dude! Keep it. I love it. That was a hell of an interception at the end by Nakobe Dean, though.
Yeah.
For his first career interception.
Man, that was a hell of a play. I think that was more or less like a better defensive play, than anything. I don't think Trevor Lawrence necessarily. It
was a terrible throw. You gotta throw that. You gotta throw that to the sideline. You cannot throw it in the middle of the field like that. It was a terrible read. Terrible.
I mean, it necessarily wasn't really to the middle. It was in the corner in a way. It wasn't in the middle.
It was not a good throw. It was not a good throw.
I think he just kind of.
He also probably shouldn't be asking your running back to make that catch, but
that's true. Now that right there is true.
That part.
That part. Now that part, you're right about that, David. You're right about that. So I mean, but damn, I don't blame him because freaking Nakobe Dean's 5'9". He's my height, or I'm 5'10", 11, whatever.
No, nigga, don't lie. Don't lie.
No, I ain't 5'9". No, don't do me. Don't do me because I am not 5'9", ladies.
You already said it.
No. I am not 5'9". I am not 5'9" at all. I am borderline.
Let's move on from how tall you are.
Not 5'9". No, bro. Because y'all, look, when I come on the show, I always spice this shit up. Look, I got it cracking. Hey, ain't that right, Christian? Anyways, ladies, I am not 5'9". All right, don't listen to none of these bull driving on the show.
Back to Eagles Jaguars.
All right, baby.
Dougie, Dougie P, you might as well start clearing out your office too, bro. It's
Dude.
it's
I thought Dougie P was gonna get the revenge dagger, but he didn't.
man, like, hey, like, I'm still mad that no one brought up Saquon Barkley play. Like, bruh.
Oh my God.
Hey, all I know is, hey, if you hurdle me, like, first off, you don't have to see me if you hurdle me anyway. You hurdled me backwards, bro. We gotta fight. We gotta fight right then and there. I don't care. Like, forget the
All the high school is going to start doing that.
I understand that Hail Mary last week was nice, but this legit might be the play of the year. Like, bro, you jumped over a fully grown man backwards, and stuck the landing. That's not even video game ish, because that you can't do that in video games. They won't even let you.
Christian, how does it feel to see that?
Yeah, you know I don't give a
rant. He does not care.
I don't give a look. He just want me to rant. Because I didn't rant about the Raiders today, Izzy, because my head hurt. And I like your head, by the way. But yeah.
Oh, you ranted about him?
No, he didn't.
No, you didn't.
Nah, not today.
Why every time they bring up the Giants or Saquon, they like Christian? No, so I'm like, bro, he don't care. Like, me and you just, no matter what, no matter how many times me and you both say, I'm like, bro, he do not.
Hey, hold on. No, forget that. Hey, if I was Mari Povich, the lie detector will determine that's a lie.
The hell it's not, because I'm gonna tell both of you this. Stay with TJ. Yes, sir. I say this. I trust Stevie Wonder to Uber me home. I do the Giants. Next game.
Moving on from there, and one of the most disappointing performances of the weekend, at least for us.
Oh man, we get to talk about two sorry son of a bitches. The next two games.
We just didn't show up in this game against Arizona.
Said the next two games.
29-9 as we fall to the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray was sacked 6 times in this game. Caleb Williams, 22 of 41, 217 yards, and yes, 6 sacks. DeAndre Swift, 16-51. Roma Dunze goes over the century mark for the first time in his NFL career. Congratulations to him. Second time? First time, second time. Kyler Murray, 13 of 20 for 154 yards. He did not have to throw the ball a lot because they were running the ball at 6.3 yards per clip and ran the ball for 213 yards and 3 touchdowns in this game.
Shaking my head.
It's unbelievable.
Shaking my head.
As the Bears went into the toaster and got smacked up and never got up.
Hey, Christian, you see me still wearing the Yankees hat though.
He said, I love it. Yeah. He said, love the hat, by the way. See that? See, you don't listen. You don't listen. You don't listen.
Shut up, boy.
I wasn't trying to listen. Go ahead.
Anyway.
Go ahead, TJ.
No, you go ahead.
Listen.
I really to get fired.
Listen, I really was curious to see how the Bears were gonna come out. He ain't right. He ain't right for that. Listen, I was really curious to see how the Bears were going to come out, especially how they lost last week, and they were just flat. I mean, they couldn't get much of anything going. Defensively, this is the worst I've seen them look all year. Mm-hmm. Arizona looks good right now. They're in first place in the NFC West. Shocking.
Yeah, big shocker. Big shocker.
David,
it's almost like hold on, TJ, David. It's almost as if, Christian, that the Bears are still kind of recouping from that devastating loss in Washington. I mean, it was like almost like their mind was still like, we can't believe we lost that game.
It's not even about that. I mean, we kind of felt like the Bears had turned over a new leaf. I know they were playing bad football teams when they were, scoring at will, but this offensive line has this is not a good defense in Arizona. You should be able to move the football against them. They don't have a good pass rush. The fact that they were able to dominate the Bears in this fashion is embarrassing
on both fronts. Yeah, that being said,
who need to go, TJ?
The fact that Shane Waldron still has his job right now is shocking to me. This whole coaching staff has to go. They
should have went. No, let me turn my damn camera on and look at y'all in the face. They should have freaking been gone. Eberflus should have been gone before the season started. You should have brought in.
That's what I said.
You should have started brand new with Caleb Williams.
But I mean, he did.
and
I mean, they did win
then
7
Shane
games,
Waldron-
and they improved the defense. He
Like
earned at least
that's-
one more
that's-
job, like
and-
one more.
and-
Was
He
Shane
earned it.
Waldron doing this shit in Seattle? Where did he come? Where did this guy come from? Seattle?
Seattle.
Yeah,
Was he
he
doing
was
this
also in
damn
Tampa
shit?
Bay
Was he doing-
for Baker
was he
Mayfield
doing this-
too.
Was he doing this trash play calling in Seattle and in Tampa Bay? No, he wasn't. So why is he doing it now?
Yeah, so Eberflus getting the job, like it's like the first season we all agree like it was a wash. The roster went worth for damn. Justin Fields was better off throwing to the 4 of us than the guys he had out there on the field with him the 3-14 season. Darnell Mooney didn't even finish the season. He gets hurt. Eddie Jackson gets hurt. And we saw how that season went. The next season, Ryan Poles spends a little bit of money. You get Tremaine Edmonds, you get TJ Edwards, you make some moves, you trade for Montez Sweat, you draft some people. Like, okay, it's like, okay, we got a list, but you had, and of that, back to the 3-14 season, of the 14 losses, 7 or 8 were 1-score losses. So that means, hey, one play, one this, one that, go your way, you win. Next season, you go 7-10. Again, you go from 3 wins to 7. That's +4. That's improvement. That's enough to be like, okay, like to go from 3 wins to winning the division don't happen. Only time that should happen is Madden. It don't happen enough in real life for it to be enough outliers and examples and whatnot. This season, to David's point, like, hey, you've never had this much offensive talent. Like the one time you had this much offensive talent is when Jay Cutler had Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey, Martellus Bennett, and Matt Forte in the backfield. But the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. So we scoring 30 points a game, but we giving up 33. And Jay Cutler was gonna turn that ball over. All you had to do was stop him one time, and that was it. So this season is kind of like this is what's disappointing. Like, I get it. You're 4-4. You're not out of it, but you moved off of a quarterback that limped his way to 7. You have to, and David said it when we did the season preview, you have to at least match that 7-10. You got to match that to justify moving off of Justin Fields and keeping Matt Eberflus. Shane Waldron, like, bro, I don't know what's so hard to understand. When you get Cole Kmet involved in the offense is better and we win.
It's a kid's game, bro. It's a kid's game. Very simple.
Like when you get him involved, that establishes a rhythm for Caleb Williams because he's a safety valve. He gets a rhythm, he gets his confidence up. The one thing I will say about yesterday is, like, I just think the boys quit. Like, there's James Conner, again, nice story. To go from battling cancer to playing in your 100th career game, fucking amazing. Love it. Absolutely love it. That dude averaged a good 5 a clip on y'all. He was getting to the secondary before he even got touched.
Hey, he's been running like a man with possessed though the last 3 or 4 games.
Like you're saving and Kyler Murray, like, and the book is out on Kyler Murray. You make him skittish, you make him jump a little bit. Kyler Murray gonna mess up because like that one touchdown he had Trey McBride wide the fuck open, but because of pressure, he throws it out the back of the end zone. The only reason they got that is because of some great ass area leverage penalty, which in my opinion is stupid. Like, how you gonna call leverage if I'm not physically pushing myself up on the opponent's back to block the kick? It's not leverage. Like that's also something that's one of those penalties that can be called every play. And you pick and choose when to call it. That gives instead of 10-6, it's 14-6 because you give them a fresh set of downs. You let the Cardinals DBs be physical with the receiver so that they in the back of their mind, they're like, hey, I can push, I can pull, I can grab, and then they're gonna get called. So it's like you got punked, you got bullied, and you laid down and you took it. Like it's week 9, and they're asking questions of, has Matt Eberflus lost the locker room? If you even have to ask that question, it's time to go.
Well, it's hard to say no to that. Like, I think he has lost a little bit of the locker room, because when he goes in his post-game press conferences, he takes zero accountability for a lot of the shit that happened.
It's like it's
early on in the season, he took zero accountability.
It's Matt Nagy all over again with the coach speak in the press conference. Like, when you got people on Twitter who can type out what the coach is going to say before the question is even asked, before we even get to the press conference, if you can type out what the coach is going to say, that's a bad sign. Like, bro, just say I didn't get the boys prepared enough. We still kind of reeling from last week. The Tyreek Stevenson thing was blown way out of proportion. Jay Glazer, you're a journalist. Fucking do better. You've been in the game since I was a kid. I'm 30.
Hey, no Jay Glazer slander.
No, Jay Glazer slander on this one, because you're talking about some Tyreek Stevenson left the practice and it wasn't received well in the locker room. You didn't even do your fucking job. Where's your due diligence to find out that, hey, the practice that he walked out of was a walkthrough? They weren't even practicing yet. They were stretching, and then he came back onto, like, he left, collected himself, gathered himself, came back, and the teammates embraced him and said, "Hey man, it's all right. We all mess up. It's gonna be okay. Just don't do it again."
TJ, look what I just sent your phone. That's how we looking at you.
Anyways, moving on to the dumpster fire that was the Chicago Bears, to the other dumpster fire that was the Green Bay Packers yesterday, as they lost to the best team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions, 24-14. Don't let that final score fool you. This game was not that close. As the Detroit Lions,
you be respectful. Okay.
It's true. Jared Goff has now thrown over the last, I think, 4 or 5 games. He's thrown more touchdowns than he has incomplete passes this season. Jared Goff has just been on 18.
Be respectful for what?
Jameer Gibbs had a touchdown. The Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown, had a touchdown. Jordan Love, 23 of 39, 273 yards and a pick.
First of all,
a really bad pick 6. Actually, Emmanuel Wilson caught the lone receiving touchdown.
Let me start out by being
Jay
a
Reed
homer.
had a receiving touchdown for you.
Let me start out by being a homer first, okay? Let me start out by being a homer first, okay? First of all, Detroit Lion fans, you need 10 consecutive seasons of sweeps before you can catch up to my team.
Okay, you know what? Hold on. Izzy, before you continue.
77, that's all I'm saying.
Izzy, before you continue, yeah, I'm with you on that. Humble y'all ass. Hey, humble yourselves. Like, y'all are not that far removed from being not just the Packers, the divisions get right game. Y'all were the division. Every other team in the division, y'all were their get right game for the better part of 20 years. Shut up.
Thank you, T. Anyways, and so now let me not be a homer. I don't think Brian Branch should have got disqualified for that hit.
Agreed.
Even though I think that it was,
they literally never eject players for stuff like that. And I was shocked.
That was very shocking.
It was a dirty play.
It was dirty, but I was quite disgusted.
So, like, let me ask y'all this:
because they put close the game.
But I mean, he didn't really lunge it.
Do y'all think he was more so ejected for, like, what he was saying to the referee afterwards? Because, like,
I don't know.
No, because they reviewed it, and from what I heard is that they thought in the review in New York or whatever that he had intent to actually go hurt
because the New York actually stepped in and ejected him.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought they looked at the video and they said he had intent.
I saw the hit. I think we all saw the hit. I saw the hit.
Well, I thought it was dirty because it was like already in. You could have pulled off a little bit on that.
And I see the flag for the hit, and I'm thinking that's the end of it. I'm thinking he's ejected because he's literally jawing back and forth with the officials. So, like, I'm thinking he just got two unsportsmanlike back to back, and that's what got him tossed out. Like, that's what I was thinking.
And then right after that, we get all those yards, bro. We get right after that, like Jordan Love throws the pick 6.
Bad pick
Like
six.
next, the bad pick six is almost Will Levis bad, almost. And it was very terrible. And you know,
Well, Izzy quoted me in
if
the
he
group
wasn't
chat.
healthy, if he wasn't healthy, we shouldn't have tried it. Because at halftime,
I mean, he clearly had no mobility. Like he was struggling to move.
mobility. And then another thing is like the Packers wide receivers. They had like 6 drops. They were missing routes.
Izzy
They were just. And the problem is that it's raining, right?
It's raining.
And the Lions only play in 3 games outside of an indoor stadium, and this is one of them. Okay. And so we're gonna make that a big deal. Oh, the Lions don't play outside, and we're
which is stupid.
The Green Bay Packers,
which is stupid.
But what I'm saying, and the Green Bay Packers are the best, one of the best running football teams in the NFL, and we didn't do damn shit with it. We didn't do anything with it.
So here's my issue, Izzy. That outdoor point, like the Lions play, that was never a talking point when they sucked ass. Why is it a talking point now?
I mean, not to mention this is a run-heavy football team. Yes, they do throw the football, but this is a team that wants to run the football first.
And they're right, saying, Christian? Yeah, well, at least it should be.
I'm saying people made it such a big deal, like, oh, this is one of the only games that they play outside, and let's see how they respond to it. Like, who cares, bro? Like, they run the football. They're one of the best running team. They are what are they? No, they're not the best running team. They're one of the top 5 rushing team in the NFL.
They're the best team in the NFL right now.
Running, yeah.
Well, just period. But they're the best football. They're the best team in the NFL.
And my last point. Hold on, before I get off, I don't even want to talk about this game because the Packers make me sick with this shit. You let. I swear to God, bro. If you let Amon-Ra St. Brown,
he had to turn the camera on.
No, for real, Christian. How you let Amon-Ra St. Brown do a Chris Brown? Then in the end zone, boy, I'm fighting your ass. I'm going over there, I'm beating your ass.
Hey,
getting in the end zone, and we're throwing hands.
Hey, he said he got to see you.
You're never doing that. You're never doing that on my home field, bro.
He got to see you.
It's when you see him in Detroit, defense, you have some balls.
Hey,
anytime he come over the middle of the field, I'm cracking him. I'm hurting him. What is wrong with y'all?
Speaking of Amon-Ra St. Brown, like, do you know that Jared Goff has completed his last 30 passes to Amon-Ra St. Brown?
I mean, he is the sun god.
His last 30. Hey, no, but real talk. But hey, I said it in the group chat. Hey, if Jordan Love plays, then whatever happens, y'all deserve whatever happens because he's clearly not healthy. He had no business going out there. The only reason he was out there, and as he quoted me in the group chat, is because you paid him. You paid him that bread.
That's the only reason he's playing. Should have been Malik Willis out there playing. It gave us a better chance to win. But like I said, I swear, bro, you let Amon-Ra St. Brown do a headstand in the end zone? I'm like, grow some nuts and go beat his ass.
Moving on to the NFC.
Hold on.
Wait. When Izzy goes on rants like this, his new name now is Israel A. Smith.
Moving on to the NFC West, and we got the Los Angeles Rams.
Best game of the night.
Yeah, it was very entertaining. The Los Angeles Rams go into Seattle and win this game in overtime with a walk-off Demarcus Robinson touchdown, 26-20. Matthew Stafford, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. This is a game where like the Rams really struggled on offense, at least in the first half, only amounting 3 points in the first 2 frames. Come out in the second half, score 17 in the third and fourth quarter, and obviously that Demarcus Robinson touchdown in overtime to seal the victory. Kyron Williams, 22 carries, 69 yards. Cooper freaking Kupp, 11 for 104, and Demarcus Robinson had both receiving touchdowns. Puka Nacua got ejected in the very first quarter. I'm not really sure of how that affected this offense, if at all. On the other side, Geno Smith, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks, including the game-tying touchdown to Jackson Smith-Njigba, who may have had his best game as a pro with 7 catches for 182 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Tyler Lockett, old reliable, also had a receiving touchdown. And Kenneth Walker, 83 yards on the ground.
Mike McDonald made his first major rookie mistake as a head coach. Kicked the field goal and force the Rams to drive the length of the field. You gift wrap them that game. And the minute that happened, I said, look, the Rams about to walk this off. And look at what happened.
They walked it off.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
I mean, also for the Rams, I mean, the feeling able to kind of like keep this game within striking distance. I mean, they had in the first half, it didn't seem like they were going to be able to move the football at all, and they come out in the second half. Sean McVay is the master of adjustments. I mean, what are the adjustments that he made to get this offense ignited is testament to how good of a coach he is.
The Geno Smith drive to get the game to overtime.
Yeah.
Bro, like I'm thinking, like Rams fans, the Rams players and fans are probably thinking this game over when Brandon Fisk gets that sack and it's 2nd and 15, and all of a sudden you convert a 2nd and 15.
I mean, on top of that, I mean, they had the ball in the red zone, like the possession right before that, and Geno throws that pick down in there in the red zone. You think that's going to be the game, and then they get that opportunity and they have another opportunity to win the game, like crazy.
This was the best game of the afternoon. But Matthew Stafford, Matthew Stafford should have been getting the same love Aaron Rodgers was getting during his time in Detroit, strictly in terms of talent, arm talent, making throws and whatnot. Matthew Stafford is going into the Hall of Fame, and I bet not hear not 1 ounce of like anything against it. Dude showed you why. Matthew Stafford, he one of them ones. And anybody who disagree don't know football. He one of them ones. For real. Next game.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to Sunday Night Football, we got the Minnesota Vikings. After losing 2 games in a row after starting the season 5-0, they go into Indianapolis or they have welcomed the Colts into their house, and they win this game 21-13. This game was also really not that close. Indianapolis did not score an offensive touchdown in this game. The only way they scored was on that Kenny Moore scoop and score. Joe Flacco had a fumble. He also had a pick in this game. Jonathan Taylor was really ineffective as they get down and they kind of abandoned the run game early in this game. 13 for 48. Josh Downs, 6 for 60. On the other side, Sam Darnold, 3 catches, 3 touchdowns, and 2 picks. He also had a fumble in this game as they turned the ball over 3 times. Aaron Jones, 21-64. Josh Oliver had a touchdown. Jordan Addison had a touchdown. And Jalen Naylor had a touchdown. Justin Jefferson goes over the century mark with 137 yards.
That Jordan Addison one was nice.
Yeah.
The one thing that irked me about this one was so the minute this game is over, they look at Flacco's stats and they're like, "Oh, y'all benched Anthony Richardson for this?" Yes. Are we literally forgetting the fact that the last game Anthony Richardson was 2 of 15? 2 of 15. He threw 15 passes and completed 2 of them. Like, that's ass. That is terrible. And even in that game, he still didn't have the same amount of completions that Flacco had in this game. He completed 8 more passes the week before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are we talking about?
I mean, they still were right there, like kind of in that fourth quarter. I mean, before it was the last 3 minutes. Minnesota was driving a little bit. Or, they were right there.
The Colts, like they were moving, like both these teams were moving the football. They just had turnovers.
Mm-hmm. Like Sam Darnold was throwing. Like there was a drive where they literally had back-to-back picks.
Yeah.
They had back-to-back picks. Like,
this Colts defense played well in this game. Like they
did. I thought both running backs would have a better game than what they actually did. Neither of them even cracked 50 yards, and neither of them got in the end zone.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor had 48 yards, and Aaron Jones had 64 carries on 21 carries. But
60, but still, that's like 3 yards a pop. I thought Aaron Jones, especially with the Colts defense, being kind of weak on that side of the ball in terms of like the run defense. I thought Aaron Jones would have at least 90 to 125 yards. Especially, I just thought with all the offense that has been going on, it was a day for wide receivers. Even look at Justin Jefferson, almost had 150 receiving yards. It was 130 plus.
137. Yep.
You know, like it was a hell of a day for wide receivers. Today, this weekend. So, but just whatever. Vikings win, beat a lesser opponent. You know, one thing I will say about Viking fans were ready to jump off the boat if they lost this game.
If they lost this one,
if they lost this one, Viking fans were like, "Oh, I'm leaving every single chat, every single page. I can't take this shit no more." Like, chill out, bro. Like, chill out, bro.
Hey, Izzy, knowing damn well they ain't doing shit. They ain't going nowhere.
Man, bro, come on.
Man, Minnesota Viking fans be passionate. But yeah, that's been our week 9 so far recap. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Is tomorrow. We're going to be breaking down Monday Night Football. We are also going to give you our preview and predictions show for week number 10, as we are officially halfway through the National Football League 2024 regular season, which seems crazy. I'm David Huffman, Israel Rivera, TJ Hopkins, and from the dailyblitz.blog, Mr. Christian Simpson. Gentlemen, what do we do here at the Prime, my friends?
We go out and vote. Go vote tomorrow, please.
Tomorrow.
Hey, I'm doing the Brian Branch.
What does that even mean?
What does that mean?
You know, when he was flicking off the Green Bay Packer fans.
Okay. We'll be back here tomorrow. You guys all have a good night. Stay safe out there. Peace out, buddy.